I call for flexibility from employers, including the government. We will be flexible in the teleworking policy. And so we have to all contribute to this solution because there is no miracle. And I think maybe if this is as chaotic as some are expecting, it might convince people who weren't already convinced of the necessity of finding a plan B to do so.
Yeah, that is Geneviève Guilbeault earlier today, actually touring the site where the work is being done right now. Look, I think, Natasha, we're both of us thinking, so this will take a week, 10 days, and then, of course, this is exactly what will happen.
Desperation will set in.
Yeah, maybe even sooner. Michel LeBlanc is head of the Chamber of Commerce of Metropolitan Montreal. He is on the line right now. Michel, thanks for being here. You're suggesting this carpooling idea. How would it work?
Well, what we're suggesting first is that we make sure that the traffic can be a bit more fluid. When people say there's 3 lanes out of 6, people don't realize it means that there's only 1 lane going to the South Shore and 2 lanes coming in Montreal. If you have 1 lane, everybody knows that anything can happen, first. And secondly, if you're in public transit, if you're on a bus, or if you're in any other type of transport, you will be stuck, and there'll be no gain in being in public transit. So what we're saying is, the situation is a bit desperate. We need to have unusual measures, and one of that measures is that during rush hour, so only during rush hour, that the access should be limited to carpooling, to public transit, and to trucks. And that will increase the fluidity. It will not make it easy. We're not saying it's fun. We're not saying it's a great thing. We're just saying it's a necessity. And what we understand is that the government is saying, well, we'll look into that. Maybe we'll get there, but we're not there yet. Well, we understand. We'll see how it goes during the next days. But we want the government to be prepared because we will need fluidity in the east link, the north to south link in the east. And right now, we're not sure. We don't think we're going to get it.
Michel, there has been comment already, criticism that the government should have let us know long before we got to the point we are at now. Is that fair?
Yes, with certain nuance. That is, well, we were all aware, the city, public transit, everyone, that there'd be major work to be done and that it would impact the access. And we were told until August that it'd be 2 lanes in each direction. Now, things that happened since then is more work, 1 lane less, and that's major. It's 50% reduction, of course. And also, we saw what happened over the last weekends, and we can expect what's going to happen. So could the government have known before that it would be a more complex chantier? Well, maybe. But at the end of the day, we have to find solutions now. And again, what I'm saying is, this is not like when we shut down the tunnel under the mountain, and that the commuter train to De Montagne was stopped. And then we looked at measures, and we worked with industry, we worked with businesses to find solutions, but it was not the same magnitude.
So I want you to know that we did put this question to our listeners earlier today. We just simply asked them how they would feel about banning cars with just one driver during rush hour. And it didn't go so well. People were not at all amenable to the idea. Most people were saying that it simply isn't feasible, that, with their schedules, with their circumstances, and they even went so far as to say it's discriminatory. What do you want to say to that kind of pushback?
Well, first, I'm not surprised. You never come with those solutions. Yeah. People are not comparing that with the hell that's going to happen. They're comparing that with what happened in the past, and they say, well, of course, I should have a right to go through with my solo car. And there's no surprise there, and the solutions are not there yet. That is, do business take on their own to look at carpooling apps and are helping their workers to find solutions? We have a possibility of having shuttles by companies or by grouping of companies. There are all those solutions that have to be put in place. But at the end of the day, we'll see in the next days. If you ask in 10 days, in 20 days, and you have all those people stuck in buses, stuck in the traffic, maybe they won't call you, but they'll certainly want to have more fluidity, and they will look at all those cars, one person per car, stuck at rush hour, And I think people in the buses will say, well, we have to have another solution.
Okay, so part of this, part of the problem here, beyond the obvious stuff, which is how are some people who just want to carry on, go to their jobs, and don't have the flexibility to change their hours because their employers don't provide them. Then there's the economic impact here, Michel. You're on the Chamber of Commerce, and I am sure businesses, trucking companies, lots of people who rely on this as their main means to get goods in and out of the city are going to be affected by this negatively. What do we say to them? How does the government help them?
Well, that's what we were requesting when we said, trucks should be allowed during rush hour, and people would question why trucks. And well, a metropolis with the millions of people, we need to have daily in and out trucks, and the East Link is very, very important, and we have the port in that area, and we have all the businesses on the East End that are manufacturing or those. All those places where you have all the goods that are coming every day. So again, if you want to limit the negative impact, you have to have some flexibility, some fluidity at that tunnel for trucks. It will have a negative impact. Again, we would want to have the tunnel open, and we would not want to have lanes closed. But once you have lane closed, the idea is how do you minimize the negative impact on trucks and also on the fluidity toward the east of the city during the rush hour.
So let me ask you then about, there's been such a drive to get people back downtown and to get workers back in the office and people coming downtown for fun. And, now the ask is that hours be flexible, that people be able to work from home more. Are you worried about the impact this might have on, trying to revitalize downtown?
It might have an impact. Clearly, I've spoke with businesses for the last weeks, and they were already saying, we're going to have, yes, flexible hours, but perhaps we'll also revise our approach to teleworking just to make sure that people coming from that area of the South Shore don't have to be stuck in the traffic. Now, it is not that many. There are people coming from that axis, but you have all the other axes. So the dynamic that we want to see downtown is people coming back. Of course, people will get stuck in those major works, and we'll see all the delays. Well, maybe the notion is to get into flexible hours. Just make sure no one is in rush hour if it's avoidable. But again, clearly, there's two dynamics. One is working together in the downtown because that's the place where decisions are made. So the decision makers have to meet with their teams, their advisors, and at the same time, making sure that people who are coming from the southeast of the metropolitan area, well, we take that into account clearly.
So you mentioned that we talked about carpools right off the top. Do you agree that there should be fines for people who don't, in fact, go along with this idea because for many it's just simply not viable?
Well, the logic would be that if carpooling is not an option, well, you're going to have to find your plan B, which is either I use other bridges, which is either I use different hours. The logic here is to make it more fluid during rush hour, and that's the goal. So, and there are ways some people are saying, I use my car as a delivery truck. Well, maybe then you can have a sign on your car, a vignette that says this is what this car is used for, and if you can prove it, then so be it. People are saying, doctors, well, maybe there are ways to say, okay, some people could go through, but the idea is to limit that, of course. And I'm not here saying, I'm the expert there. I'm saying we looked into the problems that we got from the business sector, the businesses, and we said, okay, what is the thing that will make an impact to make it more fluid? It's not ideal. We would want to avoid that, but we need to find a solution.
Another question that we heard from our listeners was just how would it work exactly? Like if you've already got the carpool lanes for cars with 3 people and plus, how would it be enforced, and could it potentially cause even more traffic snarl if you're trying to stop cars and ticket them?
Well, yeah, but people are just looking at that from a simplistic view. You have other car lanes in the world that are protected for for carpooling or other mechanism, you have infrared cameras that detect. People are saying, yeah, I'm going to have a doll behind me or besides me. Well, that can be managed. Then you have, and maybe all of us got at least one ticket by those systems on the highways or on the road, those radar. So that's all doable without being stopped, without even knowing we got a ticket. And you just make it so that the fine is a bit heavy, so that people realize they don't have or they don't want to be fined by going through those lanes. So that's the way you go. It doesn't stop the traffic.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to have a police person that stops you. It's just that you're going to be fined.
Same kind of technology as paying tolls, right? The same idea. You don't have to be stopped. You go through, they'll take a picture, they have your plate, and you'll be getting that ticket in the mail. Michel, thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Michel LeBlanc from the Chamber of Commerce of Metropolitan Montreal. We're all just waiting, just see how it plays out. And the government is, Genevieve Guilbeault in essence said that today. Let's see how it goes for the first week or two, and then we'll decide how we have to fine-tune whatever our response is going to be. That's the world we're living in right now.
You do adapt, right? Like I'm thinking when my commute time tripled when they were doing the work on the Turcotte interchange. You do adapt, you adjust. It's hell for the first little bit, and then you're kind of like, you accept it and you just deal with it.
You grit your teeth, you do what you have to do, and then eventually it's just becomes the new normal, I guess.